Hi, everybody. It's a wee bit of alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. Today, I'd like to add another element to the mix that we've been discussing lately. That is what we can focus on in our Tai Chi transform. And before I get into that, let me just make a comment here that I don't expect you to memorize this stuff. This is to introduce it into your practice, and you can remember what you can, focus on whatever comes to your mind. You can review the stuff by going on YouTube and checking out the videos and slowing things down and just going over them. And then you can also select out a particular move and just focus on that move and just do it over and over again and bringing to mind these various aspects. We've been talking about the five energy gates of the arms, the five energy gates of the legs, and how to be able to not just think about them. I don't want you to memorize them, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing with this move and blah blah blah. It's like, no, I want you to feel it, and when you feel it, then you open up other parts of your nervous system, of your brain, that allows you to access information that you can't keep track of with the very narrow bandwidth of your rational mind. Your conscious mind is a very tiny bandwidth, and that's its function. It's supposed to just focus on what's happening right now, and whatever I'm putting my attention on, and everything else gets discarded. Well, whenever we shift into a superconscious state, then we move into knowing without thinking. And this is an acquired taste. It's something that we're all doing to some degree or another, but the rational mind, the eye of mind, is kind of takes over center stage and demands that everything run through it. It has to explain everything, prove everything, and it contracts our awareness by doing so. But when we move into a superconscious state, we then enter into the capacity to process vast amounts of information virtually instantly and act on it. Now, it doesn't mean that it replaces that rational conscious mind. It just happens to be another part of it happens to be an integration of body, mind, and spirit that allows you to toggle between these different functions of your awareness so that you can be conscious of things and not, and depending on what is appropriate for the situation. There are situations where if you can paralyze yourself by thinking too much. You get stuck in your head and you can't let go of these thought loops that dominate your attention. So, but by shifting into this feeling mode, you're then able to access this expanded state of understanding that enables you to process information much, much faster. So as I'm heaping all this stuff onto you that to include into your form, it's not like, oh, I have to think about this, I have to memorize this movement by movement. It's not. If you do it, you practice it, you practice a movement till it's like, oh yeah, that's what that feels like. So today I'd like to focus on another aspect, one that I don't talk about probably nearly enough, and that is breathing. And breathing is kind of essential to what it is we're doing. And learning to control your breathing is a key element in your Kung Fu. And one way I do. I kind of follow the model that that William C.C. Chen did. He laid out, which is that on the yang or expansive moves, we do that with an inhale, an intake of breath, and then whenever we're moving into more of a yin or contractive move, then we move into an exhale. And since most Tai Chi transforms are heavily weighted toward the yin side, you'll find that you're exhaling more than you're inhaling and just getting comfortable with the exhale. And that's actually kind of really cool because it helps you to regulate and control your autonomic nervous system. And that sounds kind of actually like an error to think we control our autonomic nervous system. And in a sense, that's true because the autonomic nervous system is designed to function without our control. We don't want to have to think about beating our heart or regulating our pulse or constricting our blood vessels or digesting food. So these are things that are taken over by the autonomic nervous system, and we're the better for it. We can free us up to do all kinds of other cool stuff. But the ability to control our autonomic nervous system is kind of woven into the Tai Chi Chuan practice and preceding that, the Taoist practices, where you are learning to regulate your energy gates. And the first time I ran into this was something that I read from Cheng Man Ching, something he had written in, I think, 1949, and where he talked about the energy gates along the spine, particularly at the sacrum and at the occiput, have to do with your autonomic nervous system, particularly your parasympathetic nervous system. And that kind of blew my mind whenever I saw this. Like, oh, he's saying that is the parasympathetic. And what we're doing is we're learning to control these energy gates, just as we've been talking about the last few weeks. Different energy gates, these are ones along the spine, but same idea there. That is learning to coordinate our movements so that we are aware of yin and yang in each movement. We don't have to think about it necessarily, but we want to feel it. We want to feel that the sense of yin, the sense of yang, and coordinate our movements in such a way as to optimize the flow of qi through the body as we're doing it. And so that's why I talk about, say, like the energy gates in the arms, being able to reach with the fingers, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, opening up the scapular. So being able to do all these things then allows us to access a heightened state of optimization of our energy flow. It enhances our ability to bring awareness to the subtlest of movements, and then enhances our practice, our Tai Chi Chuan, our Qigong, whatever. So being conscious of yin and yang is important to be able to know which is which, what's the feeling of that. And then as you get familiar with that, you don't have to think about it. You just feel it. It just becomes natural to you. And as you get familiar with which movements, which energy gates are associated with yin, are associated with yang, and you can then also feel those, and you don't need to think about them. They become part of your superconscious awareness. So one of the things that breathing does, and relevant to the autonomic nervous system, is that every time you inhale, take a breath in, you are activating the yang function of your autonomic nervous system, which is called the sympathetic nervous system. And that is the part of your nervous system which says, do something, Rick, and boom. And so that's the sympathetic nervous system. It's the do part. The whatever I exhale, it calms things down, and then we go into the rest and digest mode, and that's the yin side and the parasympathetic nervous system. And every breath we're doing this little dance back and forth. And what I said before about how if you are doing a form and it's more yin than yang, more exhale than inhale, what that's doing is it's calming you down. Rest and digest. That's moving you into the parasympathetic more. But each movement has a yang expression. So you're able to toggle back and forth between those. So it's not, you're not dominated by the parasympathetic. It just happens to be maybe influence a shade in that direction, which then allows you to do that. Each beat of your heart, the pulse of your heart there is a dance between yin and yang, a dance between sympathetic and parasympathetic. A yang or sympathetic impulse speeds up your heart rate, and a parasympathetic slows it down. And if you can get them so that they're doing a nice little dance together, then you get this very nice regular heart rate variability, which then creates a heightened state of coherence, and which then opens up to all kinds of emergent properties that are hidden from you if you are too excited. If your nervous system is heavily weighted toward the sympathetic, then there's a tendency to get a little anxious, a little jumpy, a little, fearful. And so being able to consciously control that. So one exercise, we're just going to do this for just a minute or two. One breathing pattern that I like is it's called box breathing, is one name for it. And basically it's you're inhaling for, say, a count of 3, hold for a count of 3, exhale for a count of 3, hold that for a count of 3. And each time you do that, you're taking control of your autonomic nervous system, just for a moment. You don't have to fly the plane all the time, but once in a while you can just kind of course correct there and bring things back into balance. If you wanted, you could do exhale for a count of 4. That would put you more in the parasympathetic. You could do inhale for a count of 4. That would put you more in the sympathetic. That way you are in control of your internal state more. It's not an absolute, but just a tool that helps you to kind of move and be able to decide what you're going to do. I use it box breathing a lot when, say, I'm trying to fall asleep and I'm having, I'm a little excited from whatever it was during the day, and it's like, okay, Rick, gonna do some breathing here, and and it helps if you just count your breaths. And I never make it to 10, so it just You just breathe. And each time you go into that deep holding the exhale, it really settles you into that parasympathetic. So let's do that for just a minute, just 10 breaths, say, and I'll count you out to start, and then I'm going to shut up and breathe myself, so you can do it. I'll just keep track of the breaths. And so let's begin. So exhale. Now inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and carry on. Okay. Just check in with your body mind and see if you notice a shift just by regulating your breath in that way, just for 10 breaths. And just get that feeling. Try it out on your own and play with it. That won't be what we're doing in this with the Tai Chi transform here. We're going to be more into using it for specific expressions of energy, yin and yang, and kind of using it as a way of also heightening awareness of yin and yang as we do that. Okay, let's begin with our 3 pillars. 3 pillars of body, mind, spirit integration. Feel the 3 nails along the medial line of your foot, on the big toe line. Become acquainted with the heel nail, the ball of the foot, and the toe, big toe. Now sink into your heel nail. You just allow yourself to sink down. Knees are unlocked, feel yourself sinking. Don't bend the knees too much, just unlock them. And just feel yourself sinking into the earth. As you do that, feel the yin chi of the earth rising through the bubbling well points in your feet. Relax your lower back, allow your sacrum to drop. Just feel yourself getting very sung. With each breath, find yourself going a little deeper into the earth, releasing extraneous muscular tension. Now reach with the crown of your head, tuck in your chin, and open the jade pillow gate. And feel the yang qi of the heavens coming in through the back wing point at the top of your head. Feel those poles in opposition. The yang pole at the top of your head, the yin pole in your feet. Feel that exchange of the big qi filling your body, circulating. You're not limited to the energy of your own body. Reach with your elbows a little bit, open your shoulder joints. Relax your arms, let them hang, although slightly rounded. Feel the effect that opening your shoulder joints, unkinking the hose at the shoulder joints has on the what effect it has on the palms of your hands, fingers. It amplifies the chi there. Now point and reach with your index fingers and feel the energetic coherence as you bring your body and energy into a state of wholeness, state of integration, coherence. Feel the effects that has on the feeling of it. And release your qua, spiral down and turn, nice and soft, not forcing anything. You really want to feel that releasing muscular tension in the hip area, the groin area, and allowing the chi to exchange between your torso and your legs. So further amplifying the effects of the big chi. Now just take a few breaths. Do the box breathing in this position. Just inhale, count of 3. Exhale, count of 3. Hold, inhale, count of 3. Hold, count of 3. Exhale, and then hold. You just, each time you exhale, feel yourself getting more yin. So now we're going to coordinate, we're going to take one movement and we're going to coordinate the energy gates in the arms and the legs with the yin and yang of breath. So exhale and sink into your heel nails and feel the yin there. Now inhale, go into the balls of your feet and reach with the wrists. And then reach with the fingers, open up your back, open up your shoulder blades and feel that connection there. Press down with the big toes and feel that yang. Now go to your heel nails and reach down with your elbows. Relax your shoulders, your wrists. fingers. And with the balls of your feet, press down with the big toes and point and reach down with your fingers. Inhale. And then exhale, go into the heels. And notice that we coordinating the yin of the expansive movements with the intake of breath, and then that's yang with the expansive, and then yin with the retreat, gathering, mobilizing the chi. We go forward, press down with the big toes, reach down, and feel that expansiveness again, and then back to the heels and exhale. And so that's the pattern we're going to be using throughout the Tai Chi transform. I'm going to be narrating it so that you can really calling attention to the yin and yang of these various movements. And I'm not going to describe everything that's going on in every move. I'll just call attention to things as we're going along. And just feel into it. Feel the yin, feel the yang, and feel the, as we in yang, feel that opening, that expansiveness, that reaching. And then as we go yin, the gathering, settling down. Okay, so I'm going to turn my back to you, and we're going to begin. So find your 3 nails in this posture. Sink into your heel nails. Really settle down. Feel the yin here of this. Now, inhale, go into sink in, stay in the heel, spiral down to the left. And as you turn to the right, go to the ball and press down with the big toe and inhale. And then exhale, sinking in and stepping out. And then the left heel, exhale, your yin, yin, yin. And then feel the big toe, the ball of the foot first. Begin to inhale, press down with the big toe and gather, then sink into the heels. And exhale, feel the yin. Now, inhale, balls of the feet, reach with the wrists, reach with the elbows. Inhale, press down with the big toe, reach with the fingers. And then exhale, sink into the heels, reach down with the elbows, the wrists, fingers, sink. And then balls of the feet, big toes, inhale, reach down, open your joints. And then exhale, sink into your left heel, spiral down to the left, to the right, and then turn to the left. And now go to the ball, inhale, big toe, point and reach, feel the yang. And right heel, spiral down to the left, exhale. At the knee. And then feel the ball of the right foot. Inhale, press down with the big toe, reach with the fingers, open. And exhale, sink into your left heel, spiral down to the right, and turn. Feel the ball of the left foot, inhale, big toe, reach with the wrists, reach with the fingers, open up your back, yang. And exhale, right heel spiral down to the left, yin. Turn. Right ball, yang. Right big toe, inhale, reach, open. And exhale, yin, left heel, and turn. And left ball, left big toe, inhale, reach. Right heel, spiral down to the left. Yin. Now ball, yang, big toe, reach, open, inhale. And yin, sink into the right heel and step out with the left foot. Left heel, spiral down to the right, yin. Yin, exhale, ball of the foot, big toe, yang, inhale, reach, step in. Right heel, spiral down to the left, yin, exhale, turn, ball of the right foot, yang, reach with the wrist, point, reach, press down with the big toe, feel the yang, inhale, and heel, exhale, spiral down to the right, pick up the left foot and step out, left heel, at the left knee, left elbow, left wrist, wall, yang, big toe, and turn. Right heel, spiral down to the right, yin, exhale. Yang, reach up with the right wrist, press down with the big toe, the left foot, reach down with the left hand. Exhale, right heel, go down to the left. Right ball, yang, right big toe, inhale, fist under elbow. Right heel, spiral down to the right, yin, exhale, step. Left heel, yin, spiral down to the right. Left ball, yang, left big toe, reach. Right heel, spiral down to the left. Turn. Right heel, yin, yin, exhale. Right ball, right big toe, and white crane spreads wings. Left heel, spiral down to the left, yin, exhale. Right heel, yin, turn, exhale. Step with the left foot, left heel, roll down to the right. Set the left knee and right left ball, left big toe, and reach. Yang. Back a little bit. Feel that inhale, that sense of fullness there. You're reaching, opening up your back, reaching with your elbows. Feel the yang. Now left heel, spiral down to the left. Reach out with the left hand, yin. Right heel, yin. Exhale. Coming back and then step back and right ball, right big toe, yang. Play guitar. Right heel, spiral down to the right, yin. Step back, or the right hand. Or the left foot, left ball, left heel rather, yin. Set the knee, bow down to the left, and then left ball, left big toe, inhale, yang. Strike with fingers. Pivot on the right heel. Right heel, bow down to the left, yin. Exhale. Turn, pivot, and swing. Ball. Press down with the big toe, press down, left, press up with the left hand, Down with the right. Feel the yang there as you inhale. Left heel, spiral down to the right and turn to the left. Right fist comes up, step in. Right foot, turn, step. Right heel, yin, set the knee. Reach out the elbow, the wrist to the ball. Inhale, yang to the big toe. Strike with back fist. Left heel, yin, spiral down to the right. Relaxed exhale. And then right heel, set the right nail, yin, exhale. And then ball, big toe, yang. Reach. Pivot on your left heel. Left heel, yin, spiral down to the right. Step in. Spiral down to the left. Turn. Step. Right heel, yin. Set the right knee. Right ball. Right big toe. Strike with back fist. Left heel, yin. Circle with the left hand. Pivot. Your right heel. Yin. Exhale. Right heel. Yin. Step up with the left foot. Right. Yin. Left heel. Yin. Left ball. Set the left big toe. Inhale, yang. Right heel. Yin. And right hand. Pivot on the left heel. Left heel, yin. Step up with your right foot. Right heel, yin. Spiral down to the left. Reach with your elbows. At your knee. And then turn. Wall, yang. Right big toe. Yang. Inhale. Open your back. Reach. Spread your shoulder blade. Reach with your elbows. Ward off right. Left heel. Spiral down to. Right heel. Spiral down to the right. Yin. Left heel. Spiral down to the right. Yin. Exhale. Ball. Big toe. Yang. Reach. Open your back. Open your shoulder blade. Reach with your elbows. Reach with your fingers. Left heel. Yin. Spiral down to the left. Reach up with your wrists. Let your arms relax. Yin. Everything's yin. Right heel. Spiral down to the left. Yin. Set your right knee. And then right ball. Right big toe. And press. Reach with your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. Open up your back. Very yang. Inhale. Feel that expansion, that yang, and then sink into your left heel and yin. Right heel, yin. That's the right knee. Right ball, yang. Inhale. Right big toe and reach. Yang. Exhale, left heel. Go down to the right. Yin. Turn, ball, big toe, yang. Inhale. Right heel, yin. Get back. Both heels, yin and sink. Yin, exhale. And inhale, balls of the feet, big toes. Press, reach with your elbows, open your back. Reach with the fingers, feel the fullness of the posture, feel that yang expansion, and then yin, sink into your heels, separate. And let's come down, yin, yin, yin. Exhale. And go into the balls of your feet, press down with the big toes, reach out with the fingers, yang. Open the joints, feel that expansive quality, and then yin, sink into your heels and relax. Exhale. Feel the yin. Gather the energy. Eat the chi. Feel that. Feel the energy. Feel the circulation. Feel all that's going on inside. Feel the activity in your arms. You may feel your blood vessels in your arms. You also may be feeling the activity, the electrical activity in the connective tissue system. It's kind of tingly, buzzy kind of feeling in your arms, your hands. And think of your right heel, yin, step in, and then balls your feet, yang, big toes, yang, inhale, and then exhale, heels, and release. And throw away the chi. Great. Okay. Valerie.
Well, I was taking more breaths than you were directing in between, but nonetheless, I was able to hold on to, like, when we were supposed to be inhaling, in the balls of the feet, and I had to exhale and then inhale again. I was still holding on to that expansive feeling. So it
Great.
didn't prohibit, what we were aiming for, what I wanted to feel. And at first I kind of,
Glad you mentioned that because some people watching this video might might have that same concern, like I can't hold my breath that long or whatever, or other people say that's all you got, and so you know it's not about that. It's about it's just a way of bringing attention to the yin and yang of it. So
yeah,
thank
and
you.
I tried to in the beginning. I tried to do that, and it was like, this is making it too hard. So yes, just like I said, I stuck with that feeling, and it was very nice. I found that very nice. I like adding the breath in the aspect of bringing your attention to that in combination with the yin and the yang. I think that's you got to breathe. You got to breathe.
I think we got a bumper sticker here. Cool. Scott.
Yeah, pretty much second most of what my wife said. Yeah, there's like when you step up and punch, there's so many ins. I was like, if I keep breathing out, I'm gonna pass out here.
Good point.
So,
So
but
yeah,
yeah, I just mostly breathed out and breathed in when I thought when the world started to get a little woozy.
I'm glad you made that choice.
Yeah, and it definitely enhances the yin and yang of the movement. Really does.
Great,
Yeah.
great, beautiful. Jonathan.
Do you have any thoughts on the alternate breathing nostrils, parasympathetic, sympathetic wise? Hold the breathe in through one nostril, hold and let out through the other. Polarity man that you are.
Sure. I think there's a lot to be said for that, but I don't know. I've done it. I did that in order to. I had a blocked passage for years when I was younger, and I kind of I did that as a way of clearing, the so that I can breathe from both nostrils now. But the idea there that you got your idea of Pangala and your Sushumna, your caduceus, and one of them is the yang, one's the yin, and then you have the Sushumna Nada is the central pole, in the kind of creating this and then pattern for the Kundalini. But that's a whole different practice than what we're doing here. So I say, yeah, that's worthy of investigation, but I'm not an expert at it.
That pulls out that vocabulary really well. I have to say, that's about 6 technical terms you just ace.
It was in the closet somewhere, so I just sent the boys back to retrieve it.
Okay, good. Okay,
Can you-
thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody good? Yeah, I think there's Scott, something.
Yeah, just to clarify what I did and what I was sort of suggesting is, if it's a lot of yins in a row, I would suggest trying to breathe out more than, do more breathing out than breathing in if you can to keep it more yin. That was what I was suggesting. If that didn't come in out clearly.
And your solution is just taking a breath, interrupted.
Right.
That's perfectly fine. It depends on how slow you're doing the form too.
Yeah.
I have it on good authority that sometimes I take a long time with the form, and so one is not expected to follow these ideas rigid. There are things that just sort of help bring awareness to the yin and the yang of it, I guess, bring your awareness to the feeling of it. Yeah, Richard.
Um, two things. First of all, we all realize that every movement is a complex series of yin and yang. It's not just a yin and a yang for every movement. And what I tried to do when it requires more breaths than the pace is to focus on the final expression of yin and the final expression of yang, trying to coordinate them with the breath that you suggest. Trying to figure out some way to manage 3 or 4 breaths to every yin and yang. So
Yeah. And again, it's not, don't do this rigidly, don't do it dogmatically. It's just a helpful thing that, I suggest to, it helps me whenever I'm doing a form, just to have mindfulness about breath to include with all the other stuff that's going on. And as we do this, we're practicing superconsciousness, because your rational mind can't keep up with all this stuff at once. You have to move into that expanded state in order to do that, and just be playful about it rather than than doctrinaire. It's just an idea that
Right.
that is helpful.
Yeah, breathing practices are very important and sometimes complex. So, so I think that sort of the general idea about the breath that's associated with Yang, the breath that's associated with Yin, and try not to get too tied up on making it all fit all the time when you're first trying. Yeah.
Good idea. Or anytime. Producer?
No, I just wanted to say that I simplify it for myself as thinking of a inhale as a filling, which goes with reaching and expansion, which is yang. And I think of a out breath as condensing, compacting, bringing it all into center. And I don't really try to keep the keep a yin breath as long as some of these yin parts of the form are. I'm with you guys and breathe when you have to breathe. But more important, it's like a yang expression goes well with an in breath, and a sinking, condensing goes well with an out breath. So, that's
Yeah,
all.
thank you. I think a clarification also, particularly those long ones, I'm not the out breath can take a long time because it's not really, the breath is not going out very fast. In other words, it's just sort of, just gradually allowing it to settle out. So when I'm doing it, I can out breath for quite a long time because I'm not really trying to get rid of the breath very fast. It's just like, just kind of oozes out. Jonathan.
I think Richard and Sharon the internet dropped for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think, singing, I sing a lot. It's not that I do breathing stuff a lot, but I do sing a lot. Do you think that's like parasympathetic engagement, isn't it? When I think about it, it's a lot of out breath, a lot of extended exhalation, right?
Yeah. It can be. I guess a lot of it has to do with the way you sing. There are, some very sympathetic ways of singing. And so there's some parasympathetic ways too. But, I know whenever I'm doing like overtone chanting, it'll, one breath, can last quite a long time. And
Well,
as
when are you
you're,
going to do some?
what's that?
When are you going to do some? Do we have time?
Not right now, but
All right. Okay. This summer, though.
it's like you learn to allow the breath to kind of come out very, very slowly, very softly.
Right.
It's not when I say exhale, I don't mean, I mean it's
Right.
just kind of,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it kind of trails out. So anyway, I think it's time. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Maria.
Thank
Love
you,
you, Maria.
I love you
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye, guys.